Welcome to another video from your daily database insight. And like you all know, everything that has a beginning often has to come to its end based on its life cycle. With databases, there is a time for installing your database instance, and then you go into using your database instance, patching it, maintaining it. Most of the time, you're going to be doing performance tuning, and then eventually you will come to a point where you need to upgrade your database, which would be a side-by-side upgrade or an in-place upgrade. But then eventually you get to a point where the licensing and support is already out. The SQL Server database is already out of support, and the application seems not to work effectively anymore. So you need to either lift and shift, or you need to really upgrade for real this time. And so once you do that final upgrade and migration, then you remain with a SQL Server instance that needs to be decommissioned. So that brings us to the concept of uninstalling your SQL Server database. So during decommission, there are several things involved. Whenever you are decommissioning your SQL Server instance, there are different teams that play different parts in terms of decommissioning. Just like provisioning, we have multiple teams that help with provisioning. We have the server team, they'll provision the VMs. We have the networking team that they'll allocate a network IP and set up the network rules for the VM. We have the security team that will onboard your VM to the various security tools. And then of course we have the database team that will install and configure the database on the specifically provision DM, and then of course they'll provision databases over there. And then there comes a time when we have to go through the whole process of decommissioning, where we unprovision everything and everybody has to do their part. One of the things that you need to do when you're decommissioning, first of all, before you go ahead and uninstall, is you need to make backups of your databases. So you go ahead and take backups of your databases. We're going to talk about database backup at some point, but you make backups of your databases so that you can archive them somewhere until a specific retention policy, just in case you want to go back and check things in those databases. Secondly, you are going to be needed to uninstall your SQL Server instance. So in this video, we're going to see how to uninstall the SQL Server instance, which is very easy. So I've switched to the binary file location, and all I need to do is I need to call the setup, and the action that I need is to uninstall, and that's all I need. Once this pops up on my screen, we're going to walk through the process of removing our SQL Server database. And I'm going to be removing the default instance. I want to select all the things that I need to remove. Then I'm going to go to next. And then I will proceed and remove the SQL Server instance. So it's very straightforward. I'll pause this and then I'll resume the video once it is complete, or when it's almost complete. Alright, so the removal is complete, and I'll close that screen So if we go over here and look, we do not have SQL Server 2022, I mean 2025 installed. So that was completed, it was clean. So anyway, this is how you uninstall your SQL Server for when that day comes, because it's definitely gonna come in one of your environments when you need to decommission an environment. If you need to learn more about decommissioning or uninstalling SQL servers, please reach out on the comment section and I'll point you in the right direction. And if you know anybody else who is struggling with this type of uninstallation, you must show them this video. Thank you and have a good night.